The presentation will focus on three key areas. One is around the establishment of communities of practice, both on methodologies, but also data and action. Zoom in a bit on the background and how we went about creating the GPML Digital Platform, and also exemplify some of the work that we're doing to support countries and other actors in managing the data, and also moving towards having that data being as good as possible to inform action. At the moment, we have 5 different action tracks, which include science policy, action, standards, harmonization, and innovative financing. We've developed 5 different communities of practice to convene the multiple actors that are operating in these different spaces, so that we can draw on the existing expertise, we can avoid duplication of effort, and we can start maybe moving towards streamlining and planning ahead. How can the different actors fill different parts or contribute to different parts of strengthening the work around plastic pollution prevention in general? The digital platform underpins a lot of this. They are focusing on both strengthening and improving the platform, in addition to, of course, coordinate and collaborate on the topics that they were established for. And at the basis, we are focusing on national source inventories, so support evidence-based planning, working towards the development of national and global indicators. And at the end, maybe once we have a global indicator framework, it's moving towards harmonized reporting. These are some of the action. Sorry, blocking a little bit. I'll move it down here. The COP on harmonization of plastic flow quantifications and methodologies is one that was established also earlier this year. Several actors have different types of ways of measuring plastic flows. Not all are covering the entire life cycle of plastic. Some are focused more on environmental, others on economics. So we brought together all these different actors to start moving towards, could we streamline? Can we connect? Could we interlink some of these methodologies and models? How can we strengthen the access to quality data? How can we work together to maybe move towards something harmonized? The second one is around harmonizing approaches for informing and enabling actors. Multiple entities and agencies are working with different countries to support development of strengthened data management, information, and to move forward towards potential development of strategies, roadmaps, or plans. Similar here, we are coordinating and collaborating who is supporting which entity or country. Can we coordinate? Can we plan better ahead? How can we also streamline approaches? Because there are many different ways of informing action, and we would be keen to try and draw on the best of each of the entities so that we come together to something that's a stepwise process that can be informing the use of various tools also and methodologies and approaches, and at the end, coming together to best support the users of this work. Okay. There's also a data harmonization COP. I'm going to move this one around. At the moment, this is also looking at how can different data sets interact, how can they speak to each other. And here we have a number of different partners that are then working on data in different types of areas. These are just starting points. We look forward to expanding into potentially a group on trade data, a group on more financing type data. But this aims to bring together the different actors that have data in the same areas, like waste, wastewater, biota, chemicals, freshwater, and so on, to move forward. We found that the community of practice approach works quite well, and it's an opportunity for everyone to contribute and have a say also in how the data is managed and bring their expertise to the table, so to speak. Another area then, we started developing the digital platform a few years ago. We were asked by UNEA 4.6 to look at how can we strengthen coordination and collaboration between different actors, given the wide range of work that's undertaken in the area. At the beginning, we started on visualizing resources, establishing a data hub, looking at what data analysis needs and tools and functionalities are essential to be included and developed for the platform. We are now in phase 5, where we're looking at then the development of personalized workspace and tools. And we are taking a user-centered approach for the development of these different type of functionalities or tools that we are looking at. We aim to finalize the platform. It's in a beta version by next year, and that one is really looking at how do we scale existing work, and how do we scale it for success? And we look forward to working with many of you, and we welcome any thoughts and inputs on how we can improve and strengthen the platform so it's, again, as useful as possible for the users that are using it. It's grown substantially with thanks to many partners and actors that are showcasing and sharing resources through it, with more than 2,500 resources. We have about 300 data layers that are being fed in from different type of partner organizations where we have a memorandum of understanding to also ensure that there is a good plan for how the data is updated and the quality maintained. One of the key things we're focusing on now is developing a personalized workflow. As you log into the digital platform, you get to a workspace where you can manage your resources, you can bookmark, you can tag, and you can also choose to embark on the journey of source inventories and also moving towards development of strategies and roadmaps and plans. In this regard, we've taken the approach of providing guidance on the various steps that are envisaged as options for this journey. This is work in progress. The beta version will be available by December. We are currently in the phase of consultations where we're working with the communities of practice, we're working with other actors to make sure that we're shaping it, that we're considering the variety of tools and approaches that exist, so we incorporate them and make them visible as options for the users of this. If we move towards one of the first steps, which is really the stakeholder engagement and forum, the aim is not that you will read the small piece, it's more to exemplify that across the life cycle of plastics, there are a number of different actors and entities that could be relevant, both that they may have a stake, of course, and an opportunity to impact or influence the outcome of your work on source inventories and plans, but also that many of these actors may have important data that could be used if you are aware of it. So we've mapped this out. This is a tool that's being developed also. So we're very keen to have partners that are interested in developing it further with us. Another step after the stakeholder analysis is the legislative and policy review. UNEP has worked on this with this approach for several years, covering a variety of areas, and this one is then focused on the plastic issue, of course. So there are several tools, methodologies that have been developed by UNEP. These are all made available in a step-by-step process with providing guidance on how this is undertaken, how the planning for this moves forward, and how you could use the review process itself to identify what type of legislation might already exist, what might options be to look ahead and consider amendments or new legislation as well. If we look at the different type of data that's available here, and this is, again, work in progress, but we are really looking forward to additional data partners that may wish to become a partner in the platform. We have the digital platform entry point, which we're revitalizing at the moment, but under all tools up in the corner, you can go in and you can see then what type of information is available here. There is knowledge library case studies to see how others have gone around dealing with certain issues. There's a community area focusing on who is doing work, who has expertise in a certain area, where you can matchmake and connect with the knowledge needs that you might have. Also, of course, showcasing and giving credit to all the partners that are contributing to the platform, without which it wouldn't have been possible. Then we have the data hub. Here you have the data catalog, which is then where you can access different types of data and information, depending on the areas that you're keen on. If we look at different types of topics, it's possible to enter and see what type of data layers they are tagged according to different topics. You can also use the map layer to zoom in and identify where data and information is available for any given region or country as well. And for example, here we work with COPSI. This is a global platform, but we have created a regional entry point where it's possible to enter through the COPSI regional hub almost, where you then have region-specific data and information that's drawing on the global platform, but where it's also possible to add additional data layers and information. This is just exemplifying a few of the types of data that is available around consumption and waste. This is from Alliance to End Plastic Waste and University of Leeds. You can also look at how plastic is transported. There is work through the early warning system of microplastics flows in rivers. where you can actually look ahead over 9 months, what is the projected also flow in riverine systems. And you can also see how is the litter and plastics exchange between countries, within regions, and between other regions as well. You can also overlay data to see where, if you have accumulation zones, if you have hotspots, where do you have potentially also key biodiversity areas or habitats that may be threatened by plastics. So this aims to inform then the priority setting at the national level or regional. And you can also access policy data, what's existing, what types of regulations or policies have been put in place by different countries and entities. So this can maybe inspire or give you an idea of what could be possible. What we're doing is bringing together actors to try and harmonize data sets that may be drawing from underlying data sets. This is just one example where you can look at floating microplastics from different regions, but these are working together through the community of practice to identify the best way of interlink and connect the data. We're looking ahead, and this is the last slide, is really around how can we also support countries and actors in the upload or incorporation of national data sets in the workspace. That's in the personalized workspace. We are working towards making this possible so that you can, in addition to whatever might be already in the platform, you can also incorporate and include data that you might have yourself. It's your personalized workspace. You decide on the access to it and who you are sharing the information within it, but you can also see it as a collaborative space where you can invite contributors to also provide their data so that you build a global picture of, or a picture of either global, regional, or national or local level. So I'll stop here. These are some examples. We are very keen to see also if there is a need for actual data hosting in the platform. This is something that we would be open to exploring, but it's really on a needs basis. So we would welcome hearing thoughts and further consultations on whether this is something that UNEP should consider in the further development of the platform. And with that, I hope I've given you a bit of an overview of what's being done. We invite you to become partners in the further development of the platform itself. We are very keen to understand the needs of others. There are a multitude of platforms, so what we have is there. Feel free to use it. If we can work with you in your project, in your program, to see how we can maybe co-develop further certain aspects and functionalities, we would be very keen for that. Thank you again so much for your time, and I hand the floor back to the chair. Thank you.